Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome each one of you for this Thanksgiving festival. So generally on a day like Thanksgiving, whom do you express your gratitude to and why? Anybody? Whom? Damodar. Okay. Really, Radha Damodar? Son sitting next to you is laughing. Yeah. I asked Jagat Purush Prabhu, I asked him about his mother and said, where is she going to be? And she told she's in Portland, Oregon. Her sister lives there. And then I said, what they will do? And she said, they will have a turkey. And they'll be grateful to each other, thank each other for being there in their lives, and other general well-wishers. That's what people do, right? At least once in a year, they express their gratitude to various peoples in their lives. But this question is very important and of pivotal importance. It's very, very strong as to why I should be grateful and what I should be grateful, and to why I should be grateful and to whom I should be grateful. To understand this question, so we've been reading this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, the morning when we are chanting these verses. There is one verse which comes, the 3rd chapter, 8th verse, where Krishna says, Niyatam kuru karmastvam, Niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jyayo hi akarmanaha, sarira yatra pichate, na prasiddhyate akarmanaha. So this life is often compared to a journey, yatra. All of us, we go to different place of pilgrimage, or we plan to go. So this life is also a journey in terms of transferring ourselves from one physical place to another. Also transforming ourselves from one physical state to another physical state. How many of you remember, looking back, you were all born like this, in this kind of body, straight from the mother's womb, and then jumped out and came running. So we were all born in the body of a small baby. And this body that we are having right now is also a temporary state. And this will also come to an end. So that's why it's a journey, because there is a starting point which is different from what we are right now. And where we are right now also is not the end point. The end point is going to be very different. Few days back, just 2-3 days back, there was a session which I had to attend at MIT. And we were talking about a little bit of our background and understanding of the deeper questions of life as to what life is supposed to be, what life is supposed to mean, or What are we supposed to do when we have got this human form of life? What should be the purpose? What is the meaning of life? Often when people have little extra time, they at least think about it. Otherwise, most people in their busy life, they don't have time to pause and reflect. So we were having a discussion, and there was a Christian chaplain who was sitting next to me. He said that when I spoke about, how our Vedic scriptures talk about spirit, soul, and we are eternal spirit, soul, trapped in this temporary body made up of matter. His argument was, we also believe in the soul, and we say that there is a soul residing inside me. So then I asked him, if that is the thing, that the soul is residing inside you, who are you? And what is that special thing called soul, which you are saying is residing inside the body? Actually, most of the Western minds are not very conversant with this concept of what the soul is and what the body is. They have an erroneous understanding, or they have a faulty understanding. So that is why when we are talking about yatra or a journey, what is it? The journey of the soul. Like we are all, some of you are coming for the Vrindavan trip, right? The brothers have a smile on their face. Right? So we are going. I mean, if we're going from Boston to, say, Vrindavan, so there is a journey. We spoke about the journey of the body, right? The journey of the body, which is from childhood to a young man, to an old man, and similarly it comes to death. What is the journey of the soul? It's a very interesting thing. Journey of the soul is the journey of self-exploration, the journey of self-realization, the journey from living a life of chaos, complete lack of understanding, to clarity, and to have meaning and purpose in life. It's not an external outward journey, it's a journey inwards. And this journey is the most important journey in our life, which is the most neglected thing also. So, why it is the most important and why it is the most neglected? The reason being, we live our life with this strong, gross identification with the body, right? We feel that I'm this body. If I've got a female's body, then I'm a female. If I've got a male body, then I'm a male. And if I'm doing some work or if I'm doing some studies, then I'm a student, I'm a worker, I'm an Indian, I'm an American because I'm born in this nationality. So we have got, I remember one of my colleagues in my working days, in his desk, if you see the laptop, it'll be filled with post-it, what do you call those? Labels. You have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. So that desktop, hardly you can see what is there on the screen. It'll be filled with those labels. Like that, we also live our life with all these false labels which are put all around. And I'm a school-going student, I'm a college-going student, I'm a working professional, I'm this, I'm a male, I'm a female, I'm an Indian male, I'm an Indian female, I'm a South Indian male, I'm a North Indian male. All these levels we put it, and we live life like that. Little do we know that actually we are eternal soul. And this levels that we are putting is all temporary, impermanent, and has no meaning. Anybody who's sitting here, when any one of you taking birth, when you took birth, Ananya, what all things you carried with you when you came? Recently there is one cousin of mine who lives here. He had come here, his name is Bapun, and some of you around, right? He was blessed with a baby girl, so he sent me a photograph, right? Just the umbilical cord is there, wrapped in some cloth. And the girl child, I mean, she's quite heavy, 4 kg or something. I don't know what she was saying, but by the standard of a newborn baby, she was pretty heavy. But anybody, if you recall in your lives, when you were born, did you bring anything along with you? No, you did. You brought a baggage of your fruitive activities. Some are bad karmas, some are good karmas, some taste bitter and some taste sweet. And you continue to enjoy or go through those difficult experiences in life based on those karmas. And ultimately, when somebody leaves this world, what does he carry with him? Karma, and anything else goes. Whatever this things that we are pursuing in this life, a permanent home, a permanent relationship, a permanent bank account with a lot of money, and a permanent goal of becoming happy in this world. Nothing actually goes with us. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what background are you from and what you are pursuing in your life. The body just lies there. But look at the investment, look at the absorption, look at the madness, look at the intoxication that we have in this understanding that I am this body. And that's why even if I have to be grateful, I can only be grateful to people who are related to my body. Because my whole idea of, the concept of life revolves around one thing, that I am this body. So, but naturally, I'll have affection to my children, my parents, not to anybody else. These are my house, my relationship, and objects which are dear to me. I'm attached to them. But the journey of the soul is very different. I'm a spirit soul. The journey of the soul is so unique, so special. It is meant for a different reason. It's meant for an ulterior purpose. That is what exactly Bhagavad Gita talks about. And it brings the person who's strongly absorbed in material concept. I was mentioning yesterday, there are only 2 concepts of life. One materialistic concept of life, one spiritual, at least some semblance of understanding that I'm not this body. Materialistic concept of life doesn't mean that somebody who's hungry for material things. Materialistic concept of life means one who believes that I'm matter. I'm this body. Whatever the thoughts I'm having in my mind, they are all mine, and I'm supposed to fulfill them. And we work hard, tirelessly, unendingly, infinitely, and we make plans. Even if we don't get that happiness, as I was explaining yesterday, you get those distresses which are really bummers. I mean, you just get shaken when those distresses come. And those happinesses, the so-called happinesses that we get in this material world, are very fleeting. Very, very fleeting. It just doesn't stay. But yet we don't give up. We keep identifying ourselves with this body and continue with this. One fundamental question, if you ask yourself, because these are not some things which have to be just heard, okay, they have a discourse, so we should hear and go back. No, we have to reflect. If you ask one fundamental question, today, this is 27th November 2025, okay? 7 years back, this is 27 November 2018. How many of you were existing? All of you were there. Okay. Let's say 27 November 2011. All of you were there, okay. At least I have covered both of you. That means everybody else is elder too. Amaya was also there? Okay. So 1 year at least. Now, 2018, if you look at your body, okay, as per the science, as per medical science, entire cells in our body completely changes in 7 years. We were existing, but we were in a different body. Completely different body. Every single cell in that body was different. 2011, if you go back again 7 years, again the body was completely different. Now, if going by medical science, if we agree that the entire cells in our body have completely changed, I should have been a different personality altogether. If I'm identifying myself with the body and the cells in the body have completely changed in 7 years, I should be a different person. No, but the experiencer and the perceiver is still the same. So this identity, this biggest problem that we have, that we invest so much in this identity as I'm the body, puts us in so much of difficulty. So much of difficulty. That's why if you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, just knowing the difference between soul and body is not enough. You need to know the soul in its essence. You need to know its position with respect to others. And you need to know what is the function of the spirit soul. The soul is eternal. It is part and parcel of the Lord. It is meant to render service. That's its true position. It has got nothing to do with this material body or the material things which we are surrounded by. But because we are put into this material world and there is association of the modes of material nature, we are developing desire to enjoy this nature. Karana guna sangasya sadasad yoni janmasu, and we are accepting different bodies. And this is the biggest realization, which is the most expensive city to live. New York? New York is not the right answer. California? No. Huh? Boston? No. Unfortunately, no. Los Angeles? No. Which? Huh? Hong Kong? No. Singapore is one of the. New York is actually the second most expensive. Singapore is the third most expensive. Still, you didn't get the first one. Which one? London? No. Huh? Tokyo? No. Which one? They're going, but still not getting there. The answer probably will not get it. If you go and search, you'll get it. It is Monaco. It's one of the most expensive cities to live. Can you tell me which is the most expensive thing to get in life? Most expensive. iPhone, latest wala. I mean, tomorrow anyway is Black Friday, right? So we will go for that. Whatever we want to indulge, we will indulge. And this indulgence is the root cause of misery. You know what is the most expensive thing? The most expensive thing is to be able to change our attitude of living. Those strong impressions which we are all born with and which we continue to grow in illusion and madness, which keeps us binding to be able to overcome that. There is an environmental scientist by name Gus Speth. Okay, I was just Googling him. He is from Yale University. And he's worked for United Nations and very acclaimed personality. Recently, some time back, he was giving a talk at MIT, okay, and there is a quote that he has mentioned. I used to think that the top environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystems collapse, and climate change. And I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address those problems. But I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And to deal with those, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation, and we, scientists, do not know how to do that. Because we live in a life which is self-centered, fully selfish. There is nothing in our life other than my own. Everything revolves around me and mine. And there is greed and apathy. There is no question of gratitude for anyone. I think this recently I was seeing, if you followed the news, a lot of trolling which is going on for the cricketer, one woman cricketer by name Smriti Mandhana, something to do with her marriage which didn't work out. Her father got this thing, and there's so many things which are going. People are so obsessed in seeing other failing or falling down. They get a lot of rasa. Everything is good, but, and in that but, whatever good is there, everything is finished. She is a nice devotee, but, and then finished. We want to see only negative things in people. Our heart is filled with this envy and with greed. How I can become successful at the cost of another person. Maybe I'll stamp on the person's head and I'll become something else. Because the resources are scarce. There's a scarcity of resource. And there is a competition to enjoy. So I want to put somebody down. Right? That is why when we talk about being grateful, the first person that we should be grateful to is our spiritual master. Why? There's a verse which comes in Bhagavatam. It says that a blind person feels perpetual gratitude to a doctor who restores his sight. Similarly, we sing, Chakshudan diloje janme janme prabhu se. The bona fide spiritual master, the representative of Lord Krishna, restores our spiritual sight, and thus he is our eternal Lord and Master. This vision to see things properly, this vision to put things in perspective, this vision to not chase and get defeated, frustrated, and blame the whole world, but understand our true identity and come to this conclusion that the happiness doesn't lie in chasing, going after some stimulation or some titillation. It lies in understanding that I am a spirit soul. I actually can be self-satisfied within me. I don't need any external this thing. That knowledge comes from the spiritual master. And that is the biggest gift that we can get. Biggest gift. The most, this is the most valuable possession that one can have. That's why every time when we are having this discourse, we say, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. We all know in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned, Brahmanda Brahmite Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. Bhagyavan means fortunate. Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. Brahmanda Brahmite, in this material world when we are wandering. How many of you were wandering in the street looking for Radha Krishna? And then somebody told, oh, the Radha Damodar temple is there, Radha Krishna available, you don't know, why don't you go? Anybody there like that? We were all wandering, looking after some material things, dollar and cents or rupees and coins. Somehow, by mercy of some devotee somewhere, somebody gave a book, somebody invited us, why don't you come? Why don't you have the darshan of the Lord? Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. Only a very rare, one fortunate soul, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, he gets the seed of bhakti. Now this Bhakti Lata Bij you have found, and imagine if that Bhakti Lata Bij, if you keep it in a cupboard, locked, will it fructify and become a creeper? It has to be sown. It has to, you to sow that Bhakti Lata. But if you sow it in a place which is not fertile, which is not, it's a rocky land, will it grow? If the heart has to be fertile for the Bhakti Lata to grow inside our heart, the heart has to be grateful. There has to be gratitude in the heart. All of us, when we came in touch with Krishna consciousness at the beginning, we were so happy. We were looking forward to this experience. We wanted to come. And we were experiencing that change, the joy inside. What happens after a few years? What happens after 10 years, 15 years? You start seeing, oh, these things I know, there is no gratefulness in the heart. There is no gratitude for Prabhupada, there is no gratitude for the deity, there is no gratitude for so many facilities which we are enjoying. Had this temple not been there, what we would have done? Where we would have gone? Some things in life we take so granted. What is that? They will say same thing. Prasadam, nice kirtan, having beautiful darshan of the Lord, getting a chance to hear Bhagavatam, even though my mind is saying, not worth it, kuch aur karna hai. Still, where will you get this opportunity? So, that grateful heart, when it is not there, then the creeper of bhakti doesn't grow. Creeper of bhakti grows in the grateful heart, and it gets nourished by chanting and hearing. The jala, the water that is required, the watering of the seed, happens by chanting and hearing. You neglect your chanting and hearing, your bhaktilata will not grow. It will get stunted, the growth. And how long it should grow? It should grow all the way so that it crosses this material world, material environment, goes beyond and goes to the spiritual world and grows there and takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So should it stop there? No, it continues to grow, and there is a fruit which is produced out of that bhakti creeper, which is the love of God, that is offered to Krishna. But all this tree has to grow on a solid foundation of a grateful heart. When grateful heart is not there, you start seeing faults. Everywhere you see, this is not there, that is not there. Had I been there, I would have done this. And then what happens is, when the heart becomes rocky, solid, bhaktilata stunts. There is nothing to look forward to. Only pride, ego, and fault finding and quarrel. So how critical it is to understand our position, that I am actually a lost soul, filled with ignorance, with wrong goals in life, pursuing this madly, lifetime after lifetime. By some good dint of fortune, I have come in touch with pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Should be eternally indebted and grateful to him. So, gratitude helps us to overlook the shortcomings. Overlook the shortcomings. You don't see them because you are seeing value in what you are getting. All those things become very insignificant. If that is not there in the heart, every single this thing becomes big in life. Oh, they didn't serve me. Oh, they didn't do this. They didn't. I'm 10-year-old devotee. Arati is not coming. All kinds of things will come in the mind. So gratitude helps to overcome these shortcomings. Whom should we be grateful to? Should we be only grateful when the Lord is reciprocating us in favorable way, when He is keeping in this thing and all our desires are getting fulfilled? Oh Lord, you are so nice, I am grateful to you. No, we should be grateful to the Lord in all circumstances. Look ahead and trust Krishna. Like, look at the Prahlad Maharaj situation. What all he was going through. He could have complained, no, I'm your pure devotee, I'm a Mahajan. I'm born in the family of demons, understood, not my fault. Oh, why are you putting me in so many difficulties? Being tortured by my father, my own father, every single moment, trying to kill me. For what? Just because I'm chanting your names? Not even once. He's having that kind of an attitude. And what did, when Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narsimadev, when Narsimadev is asking for benediction, ask Prahlad, what do you want? What is the prayer? What is the benediction that Prahlad Maharaj is asking? My father was a sinful man. Please forgive him. He was not knowing what he was doing. Please forgive him. The gratitude in the heart. We should be having gratitude and look within and find Krishna, like Dhruva Maharaj. Right? Look within. Krishna is not very far. He's there, right inside our heart, waiting for us to turn towards Him. But we are in deep state of intoxication, of forgetfulness of Him. And in accepting this temporary body as permanent and going through all these challenges and difficulties, as Krishna puts it very nicely, karsati. Mamaivamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana mana shasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. This great struggle for existence. But we are embracing it happily. It's fine. We should look behind and thank Krishna. There is a nice memory of a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who was narrating his story that he had a very troubled childhood. His mother passed away in a very early age. Father had to bring him up, and it was not easy. Mother is not there. You don't get your mother's love. You're deprived of so many of these things. Like that he was sharing to Prabhupada. Prabhupada heard, and then even after that, when he grew up, there was some struggle to make ends meet. And it was not easy journey actually. Prabhupada looked at him and he told him, in your life, had you not gone through any of those situations which you are describing to me, you would have not been sitting here. Look behind and thank Krishna. Kunti Maharani's prayer, Vipada Santuta Saswat, Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru, Bhavata Darshanam Yatsyat, Apunar Bhava Darshanam. Vipada Santu, let there be calamities. Let me go through all the difficulties of Krishna. Doesn't matter. Vipada Santu Tasasvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Bhavatam Darshanam Yatsyat. Because that gives an opportunity to have your darshan, O Lord. Not that Kunti Maharani needs any of these things. She is a pure devotee. But she is praying on behalf of us. When we go through some reversals, when we go through some difficulties, when our plans don't work the way we want, when things are going fine, it's very nice to say, well, I'm grateful to the Lord. When it doesn't go, when the Lord, not that the Lord is putting us in any difficult situations, it's because of our past misdeeds. We are put into some kind of a situation to see the hand of the Lord at that time and to still be able to grateful for the entire past. Yes, it's not easy. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Maam upetyatu punarjanma dukkhalayam asaswatam. Napnubanti mahatmana. This is dukkhalayam asaswatam. What do we expect here? But still being grateful. So whether it is looking ahead, looking within, or looking behind, we should always be grateful to Krishna. And then look around and serve Krishna. Look around. Every single thing is Krishna's. Use it in His service. This kind of a mood comes, like Prabhupada demonstrates this very nicely in every single instance. Genuinely pure devotee. They are looking for opportunity how they can engage in service of Krishna. We are looking for opportunity how we can go out and engage in the service of Maya. There's one place in San Francisco when Prabhupada was giving a lecture. He was invited to speak on Bhagavad Gita. The devotees had booked a big auditorium, very large auditorium. And the auditorium was some distance away from the temple. So Prabhupada knew that there's a lot of efforts which has gone behind to make that program happen. So the devotees had planned some pastries and some snacks for prasadam for the audience. Prabhupada said, no, there should be proper full prasadam should be given. You should have puris, you should have rice, dal, some other sabji, and gulab jamuns. So they were a little hesitant, they were very less in number, and they were thinking, how do we go there? How do we serve? And even to cook in one place and to take it to the venue, it's all not easy. So there were a lot of hesitations. But Prabhupada said, no, we should give them full meal. There was one Mataji, Ashtasakhi Mataji. She's the one who was in charge of cooking, and they did with a lot of hard work, and she's not a very expert cook. But just because Prabhupada has told, so she did that. And it's not just easy. And then they transferred those prasadam, and before the program starts, Prabhupada had some prasadam. He asked, can you serve me? I want to taste. And Prabhupada was having, and then he had puri, sabji, rice, dal, everything, and he had gulab jamun, he had one, he had two, and he asked his servant, can you get more? So this Mataji was thinking whether it is actually Prabhupada having, or is it the servant, who's having this? So she followed, actually 4 gulab jamuns Prabhupada already had. And seventh one, Prabhupada was being served when the Mataji came, and she saw Prabhupada was really having those. And then she said, one more, Prabhupada said, and she gave, and Prabhupada took half, put it in his mouth, so they were thinking the Mahaprasadam they'll get. Prabhupada said, no, keep it. After the program, I'll have it. Okay? And then the program got over, it was filled with audience, and then nice kirtan happened, prasadam was distributed, everybody was happy. And they were coming back to the temple hall in the car. Prabhupada was sitting in the front, this Mataji was sitting in the back along with two other devotees. And they were just saying, oh, Prabhupada, it's all your mercy. By your mercy, so many people got introduced to Krishna consciousness, they got the philosophy, they chanted, they danced, they had nice prasadam. And they were looking at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was having tears in his eyes. So they thought, what went wrong? What happened? So he was looking at the street of San Francisco, and he was seeing there were so many young people who were wandering in the street. And Prabhupada said that, only some people we could touch, but you see so many people because lack of Krishna consciousness, wandering aimlessly. He had that compassion. Look around and serve Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there is no one who is more dear to me than somebody who's trying to preach my message. The real non-violence, 13th chapter, if you read those items of knowledge, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, is when we are committing violence, when we are seeing somebody suffering because lack of Krishna consciousness in this material world, and we are not doing anything to that. Not that somebody was physically inflicting this thing on somebody. That is we understand, gross violence. The definition of items of knowledge, one of the things is non-violence. Violence is committed if you're seeing, yet you're not doing anything about it. So imagine if if Prabhupada, a pure devotee of Lord, is having so much of gratitude, how much Krishna's gratitude is there for us? Krishna is eagerly waiting when this jiva will come. He doesn't sit in one day and he doesn't count how many mistakes this person has done, how many offenses he's done, how many times he's neglecting me, how many times he's still looking, despite all those things, that person, what is his name, Krishna, never comes, but he's come today. Right? He's come. He makes a note. He's staying here only. But he's come. He sees the good things. He's waiting for the soul to turn. With great anticipation. Actually, it is mentioned when a soul goes back to Krishna, Krishna just comes and welcomes that soul with so much of eagerness. How long you've been separated and you are suffering in that place? So we should have gratitude to Krishna for our past. Like, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, the gopis, they were talking about the different situations that they were going through, like the Kaliya snake, right? The poisonous snake the poison of Kaliya, which had poisoned the entire Yamuna water. Krishna saved them. Krishna saved them from the devouring forest fire. Krishna saved them from Aghasura, Aristasura. Like that, they are remembering. In our past also, we go through so many difficult situations where actually we can see the hand of the Lord, but we again become forgetful. And we remember only those times when we are put into some crisis and things didn't happen. Those things only remain in our life. Actually, it is a psychology of human mind that whatever we have, we don't value it. Whatever we don't have, that we give extra importance. That we feel are the most important thing. Even in Kunti Maharani's prayers, he mentions this prayer, Vishad Mahagne Purushada Darshanat, Asad Samaya Vanavasa Krichrata, Bridhe Aneka Maharathastrato, Drauni Astratas Chasma Hare Birakshita. She's remembering, she's recalling all those things. Vishad Mahagne. Bhima was given the poisonous this thing. Vishad Mahagne, there were some man-eaters, so many things. The battle of Kurukshetra, Draupadi being disrobed. Every step Krishna that is remembering the Lord's gratitude in our heart. And gratitude to Krishna for the present. Actually, this is one of the most powerful prayers in Bhagavatam that you will find in 3rd canto, 31st chapter. This verse comes. How did we get consciousness at all? How did we become conscious? One translation of this verse, you will find the word causeless mercy being used twice. My dear Lord, by your causeless mercy, I'm awakened to consciousness. We were there. Prabhupada says if somebody is, it's like a bow position, like a bow and arrow, a stretched bow. In that position, we can't even live for forget about 1 hour. Not even 1 minute. It is difficult to stay in that position. My dear Lord, by your causeless mercy, I'm awakened to consciousness, although I'm only 10 months old. For this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the friend of all fallen souls, there is no way to express my gratitude but to pray with folded hands. Where did we get this consciousness from? How did it happen in that filthy place, packed up condition? So abominable it is. Because by the mercy of the Lord. It's 10 months old, but I got it. For this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the friend of all fallen souls, there is no way to express my gratitude but to pray with folded hands. But we forget the painful situations. We come out of this the womb of mother, we get into this material world, and then we develop another attitude, completely different attitude. Gratitude to Krishna for the future. There's a beautiful prayer by Brahma, where he says, Tatte anukampam susamikshamano bhunjan evatma kratam vipakam hridbhag bapubhir vidadhana namaste jiveta mukti pade sadaya bhag. A devotee doesn't see any calamities or reversals or difficulties in life as a trouble or as a problematic thing. How does he see? He sees this as a great compassion by the Lord. How can you see a difficult thing in your life as compassion? Tatte anukampam susamikshamano bhunjan evatma kratam vipakam. He says, all the difficulties that I am going through, it is actually my past misdeeds. Atma vipakam. I have done something bad in my life for which I would have suffered more. But because I am there with my most merciful Lord as my friend, as my well-wisher, He is reducing it. It is all His compassion. Tatte anukampam susamikshamano bhunjan evatma kratam vipakam hridbhag bapubhir vidadhan namaste. And despite going through those difficult situations, there is no rebelliousness, there is no pain inside heart, there is no anguish. Rather, with his heart, vak and bapu, by his body, he is actually paying obeisance and is engaging in devotional service. Then last line it is mentioned, Jiveta Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhak. That person becomes an eligible candidate to go back to Krishna, becomes an eligible candidate to get liberation. Look at the fathers, the parents of Krishna. Who were the parents of Krishna? You played the role. Huh? What was your role? So Vasudeva and Devaki, how much of pain they had to go through? They had to go through the seeing the loss of their 6 childs before Krishna is born, one after another being crushed to death in front of their own eyes, and finally when Krishna took birth, how long did he stay? How long did he spend with his parents? 1 year? 1 hour? Not even. Just better to go and tata. You only take me and put me in Nanda Baba's place. Were they rebellious? Where they said, what is going on? Tatte anukampam susamikshamano bhunjane vatma kratam vipakam. So, gratitude in practical life, actually, if you have to express gratitude to Krishna, it has to be expressed through the spiritual master. He brought this mercy of Krishna, made it available to us. Because of him, we got connected to what spiritual life is all about. Every day in the morning, that's why, what is the last line of Trisandhya and Trikala, this thing? The Samsara Davala, the last, no. Dhyayam stubham stasya yasas trisandhyam. So we should glorify the Lord in 3 times, not just out of our mouth, not just out of some intellect, from our heart. This is the grossest misunderstanding, the grossest ignorance where we were engulfed in, not knowing our true position. Oh, spiritual master, please keep me at your lotus feet. Right? We should be having gratitude to the seniors. Right? It's not just Prabhupada's movement is growing and continuing to thrive and inspire people. How? Because there are devotees who are more experienced, who are guiding. They're trying to be as sincere to Srila Prabhupada's mission and trying to follow that. we should follow in their footsteps. We should be grateful to them. Should we only be having gratitude to the seniors? We should have gratitude to the equals also. Because equals are the ones who keep us grounded. When you start developing a hello, and say that I'm a big devotee, and then say, hey. We should have gratitude to the juniors as well. Because the juniors people, if they're not there, what kind of service we can render? Right? If there are no newcomers, if there are nobody who's there, the more important than the speaker is the audience who's willing to receive. Should have gratitude. I'm getting a chance to serve. I'm getting a chance to hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is an example of this which is given, gratitude in extreme conditions. Sivananda Sena is supposed to be the person who's organizing trips. And these trips are planned for 6 months to bring devotees from different parts to Jagannath Puri. And one day, for some reason, the prasadam was not served in time, something like that. Nityananda Prabhu got very angry and kicked him. And what was the mood of Sivananda Sena? If that kind of a thing happens to us, forget about kicking. If somebody even raises eyebrow, Gyanji, that's it. Something happens inside our heart. Sivananda Sena says, this is so great mercy of Nityananda Prabhu that he kicked me. Because he kicked me, that means he's thinking I'm his. You can chastise someone whom you think he's yours. Not someone who's a guest or someone who's just coming like that. I'm so merciful that I could receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So gratitude in action should actually result in engaging in devotional service. There is no other way to express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada or the deities or whatever we have experienced or gotten from Prabhupada. The only way it is possible is by expressing by engaging in devotional service. I would like to play a small video, and with that we will probably stop. It's a very nice video, just pay attention to this. Let me start.
Whatever I get, I offer you. You kindly accept. I cannot move, old man. So Krishna had to eat that. Because the bhakta is offering, he cannot refuse. Dhimam bhaktya prasich. The real thing is bhakti. What you can offer to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. What you have got? What is your value? And what is the value of your things? It is nothing. Therefore, the real thing is bhaktya. The real thing is your feeling. Krishna, kindly take it. I have no qualification. I am most rotten fallen. But I have brought this thing for you. Please take. This will be accepted. Don't be puffed up. Always be careful. You are dealing with Krishna. That is my request. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Damodar ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Can you all loudly say Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna. One more time, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. On behalf of India Heritage Foundation Mother Mandir, we would like to welcome each one of you for the Thanksgiving festivities. Today we are calling this as the Festival of Gratitude. So far we had wonderful kirtans, followed by Arati, and then we had a wonderful discourse by His Grace Sadananda Prabhu, who mentioned the importance of being grateful to the Lord, who is providing us with all the facilities and all the necessities. So before we go to the next part of the program, where we'll have some more kirtans and Arati, followed by special prasadam, we have a small exercise to express our gratitude to the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, and to the devotees. So all of you will be provided with a small paper. Can you just get the white papers? So you can just, I'll be just giving you a few prompts to think about, and just take a few minutes to express your gratitude to the Lord. And this is actually a very nice exercise, as we just saw how everything belongs to the Lord. And all that we can actually offer is just gratitude and love and service to the Lord. So before we actually start, I'll just read a few quotes from Srila Prabhupada, and that would set the mood for us to prepare as what we can write and why it is important to be grateful. Yeah. So in Nectar of Devotion, there is a definition of who is said to be grateful. Actually, Krishna has unlimited transcendental qualities, and one of his qualities is being grateful. Actually, Krishna is extremely grateful. For any little service that one does, Krishna reciprocates. Prabhupada says if a devotee takes one step, Krishna takes 10, 100 steps towards him. So actually, Krishna's gratefulness is unlimited. So Prabhupada writes, any person who is conscious of his friend's beneficent activities and never forgets his service is called grateful. And Krishna is grateful. And in this example, Srila Prabhupada quotes of Draupadi. When Draupadi calls, "Hey Govinda," the Lord immediately comes to rescue her. So actually, simply by calling out the name of the Lord feels so grateful that he comes to help his devotees. So, and there is another example of Jambavan is also given in this case of how Lord is very grateful to Jambavan. And so this is the first definition of being grateful, that the Lord reciprocates with his devotees for anything that, even a little, that they do. Next. So Prabhupada writes, gratitude is a quality of devotee. A devotee is said to possess all the good qualities of demigods. But, and amongst them, this one quality Prabhupada writes, gratitude for the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of the qualities of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Everyone should feel grateful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he's maintaining all living entities and supplying all their necessities. Actually, the Lord is providing everything. It just requires our ability to see it. And Prabhupada writes, as stated in the Vedas, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, Eko Bahunam Yo Vididhati Kaman, the Supreme One is supplying all necessities to the living entities. The living entity who is therefore grateful to the